So hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So in this video I'm gonna show you how to write an advanced SQL queries using ArcGIS Pro for spatial analysis. So now let's get started. So down in the table of contents section you can able to see this particular shapefile called reserve forest. So I'm gonna navigate to this shapefile and I'm gonna right click and click this option called attribute table. So now this is the attribute table for this specific shapefile called reserve forest. So now I could like to select this specific field called location owned. So I could like to select a reserve forest which is owned by the Navy. So for that I'm going to navigate to this option called select by attribute. So I'm going to remove this and I'm going to turn on this SQL. And once you did that, now I'm going to mention the specific field called location owned. So I'm going to mention as location and equals to. So make sure that I'm gonna add a double quote to it, and it's equals to Navy. So I'm gonna mention the Navy here. So now I have mentioned the location owned equals to Navy. So now I'm gonna click apply to select all the reserve forests which is owned by Navy. And now here you can able to see here in the top side in the below section here. So 9 out of 1023 got selected. So we're going to click this option called show the selected features. And now you can able to visualize all the reserve forests which is owned by Navy. For example, this specific location which is owned by the Navy. And this is a simple selection using SQL. So next we're going to make a range selection. So first let me clear this. I'm going to remove this. So the condition here I'm going to specify is I'm going to navigate to this particular field called. So I'm going to navigate to this particular layer called GIS acres. So now here you can able to identify this particular field called GIS acres. And now I could like to find the features where the acres, for example, this particular reserve forest areas which is greater than 500 acres. So I could like to identify the reserve forest with the acres that is greater than 500. So to do that, I'm going to specify this specific range condition. So now here you can able to visualize I've mentioned as GIS acres greater than 500. So it's going to select all the features which has an acres greater than 500. So I'm going to click apply and now let us visualize the result. So now here you can able to visualize. So I'm going to right click and click navigate this option called selection, and in that I'm gonna click this option called zoom to selection. So now you can able to clearly able to visualize all the features which has a area that is greater than 500 acres. So you can able to see here, so which is clearly highlighted in this blue color. So you can able to see, and you can select this option show the selected features. So you can able to see all the selected features. So out of 27 features got selected from 1023 features. So you can able to see. So in the next step I could like to do a multi-conditional selection. So first I'm going to remove this and I'm going to clear the selection here. So now I have applied the condition here when the status is equals to designated and IUCN category is equals to 4 and the GIS acres is greater than 100. So for example, let me navigate to this field called status here. So you can able to see the field called status. You can able to see this field called status, and in that we have this field names called designated. So you can able to see that. So in this particular field, few have a designated and other has an empty field. You can able to see here. And next I'm gonna mention the AND operator, that is a Boolean operator, and in that I'm gonna mention the IUNC category equals to 4. So we can able to see this particular field called IUNC category, that is habitat / species management category. So in this field you can able to see we have this unsigned, and as well as and we have this different categories starting from 5, 4 and etc. So you can able to see that, and in that I would like to specifically select this particular category 4. And the next step I'm gonna add another condition using AND operator, and in the field called GIS acres, let me show you that. So I have this field called GIS acres I have previously shown you. So this is our field called GIS acre. So in that, I could like to identify all the areas where the area which is greater than 100 acres. So based on this condition, so starting with the status equals to designated, and I'm going to apply another condition called IUNC category is equals to 4, and another condition, and using AND operator, that is GIS acres is greater than 100 acres. That is area that is greater than 100 acres. So based on this condition, I could like to identify the feature where the status is equals to designated, and IUNC category is equals to 4, and the GIS acres, that is area greater than 100 acres. I could like to identify this particular features from this features here. So for that, apply this particular condition, and we have applied the AND operator, which means that all the specified condition needs to be true for this condition to be executed. So I'm going to click apply, and let us visualize the result. So now we have selected the features, that is we have selected 64 features out of 1023 features got selected based on this condition, that is based on the status designated, and the IUNC category, that is, let me show you that, the IUNC category of 4, and the GIS acres, that is greater than 100. So let me show you that. So which is greater than 100, you can able to see here. So this is the multi-conditional selection, and next we're going to focus on, let me remove this particular one here. I'm going to clear the selection, and I'm going to turn to SQL mode. So next we're going to perform the wildcard text search operation. So we're going to select reserves with fern in the name here. So we're going to select all the reserve forests with a fern in the name. So for example, this particular field, that is PDES-NM, so you can able to see here. So this specific field, I'm going to select all this particular field with the name which has a fern, FEN. So you can able to see here. Let me show you that. So you can able to see here for this particular name which has Wagner Fern Nature Preserve. So it's going to select all the name which mention this particular word called fern for in this specific field called PDES-NM. So it's like we are going to use a like operator. So like operator is a kind of pattern matching operator. So now here you can able to see I have mentioned this particular field called PDES-NM, and I've used this like operator. So based on this particular word fen, so it's going to select all the names in this field with in this field containing the name starting with the fen here. So it's going to select all the in this field, it's going to select the name with fen. So we are using this particular operator, like is a pattern matching operator. So we're going to use that. So I'm going to run this, I'm going to click apply. So now here you can able to see out of it's got selected 103 features got selected out of 1023 features. So we're going to click this option called show selected features here. So now you can able to clearly identify it. So out of around 103 features got selected out of 1023. So based on this specific field, let me show you that. So you can able to see this particular field PDES-NM. So with the word starting with the fen, so we can able to see the Chicago Junior School Fen Natural Heritage Landmark, followed by the Shaw Fen and Woods Natural Heritage Landmark. So all the name with the fen got selected here using our like operator. So this particular is a wildcard text selector. So the next we're going to perform the complex logic, that is parenthesis grouping. So the goal is to select the reserve forest which is owned by Navy, or we are applying OR operator where the gap status equals to 1. So gap status equals to 1, which indicates the highest conservation priority, and we are applying AND operator with GIS acres, that is lesser than 200 acres of area, and we are applying another AND operator where the owner type is equals to 03. So we could like to select a reserve forest which is owned by Navy, or the gap status is equals to 1, that is the highest conservation priority, with the GIS acres where the area is lesser than 200, and the own type is equals to 03. And this particular query might be a bit of complex compared to our previous queries. So let me explain this one more time. So we're going to select the a reserve forest which is owned by Navy, or where the gap status is equals to 1. So gap status, which indicates the highest conservation priority. And we are applying a GIS acres that is less than 200, and the own type is equals to 03. That is habitat forest habitat services, so which is indicated as 03. So based on this condition, I could like to identify those areas which is owned by Navy, or the gap status of is equals to 1 with GIS acres less than 200, and the own type which is equals to 03, that is habitat forest habitat services. So I'm going to click apply and let us visualize the result here. Let me remove this title and I'm going to click apply, and now let us visualize the result. So we have 70 got selected out of 1023, so you can able to see, and I'm going to click this option called show selected features. So in this feature we have this location owned by Navy, it's got selected, and followed by the gap status. Now let us check out the gap status here. So we're going to navigate this field here. So we're going to show you the gap status here, so you can able to see this. This is a gap status field. So goal of this particular expression is to select either that is owned by Navy, or the gap status is equals to 1, and the GIS acre that is less than 200, and own type is equals to 03. So based on this condition here, so it's got and the GIS acres that is less than 200 acres of area is got selected, and the own type is equals to 03. So you can able to see the own type is 01 and 03 is got selected. So based on the specific condition, all the features got selected. So in this statement, so which indicates that we are using the OR operator, which indicates the either condition can be true. So true and true is equals to true. That is, when the location owned as Navy is true, and or the gap status is equals to 1 and GIS acres less than 200, and the own type which equals to 03, it is true. So the either condition can be true. So true or true is true. So the next SQL expression we're going to show you the combined numeric and text with a pasture land and savanna. So we're going to combine numeric and with text to select the reserves established after 1990, and with a comment called pasture land and savanna. So we're going to select the reserve established after 1990, and with a comment of pasture land and savanna. So based on this, we have shown this particular condition here. So you can able to see here, that is we apply this particular that is date EST is greater than 1990, and the comments is equals to pasture land and savanna. So let me show you. I'm going to clear this selection, previous selection here, and let me navigate to this particular field called the date EST. So here you can able to see the date EST, and we're going to select the date with a reserve forest which is established after 1990s. So I can able to see the dates are mentioned here, and with the comments stating there is pasture land and savanna. So you can able to see this comment here, so this particular field, and in that we're going to select this specific comment called pasture land and savanna. So now we're going to execute this. So now we are using this AND operator. So in this case, both this condition needs to be true for this expression to be evaluated. So for that, I'm going to click apply, and now let us visualize the result. So 1 out of 1023 got selected. I'm going to click this, and I'm going to find this. I'm going to right click and navigate to the selection option here, and in that I'm going to click this option called zoom to selection, and this particular feature which matches our expression. So you can able to see that. So now the last SQL query, that is we're going to see some advanced query. So the goal is to select the features with the gap status equals to 1 or 2, and the GIS acres greater than or equals to 500, and IUCN category is not equals to unsigned. So we are applying the specific expression in order to filter the conservation lands with a high protection of gap status 1 or 2 and large size and with a valid IUNC classification. So it's going to filter the conservation land with a high protection, large size and valid IUNC classification. So you can able to see the first expression, the gap status equals to 1, or we applied the OR operator. So either needs to be true, the expressions to be evaluated, that is gap status equals to 1 or the gap status equals to 2, and we are applying the AND operator, and with the GIS acre that is greater than or equals to 500 and IUNC category that is not equals to unsigned and unassigned. So you can able to see here the IUNC category, which is not equals to unassigned, and we have applied the AND operator here. So all this condition needs to be true for the expression needs to be evaluated. And let me apply this and let us visualize the result. So now I have made some correction to it. So you can able to see the gap status equals to 1 or the gap status equals to 2, and the GIS acres that is greater than or equals to 500, and IUNC category it is not equals to unassigned. I'm going to click apply, and now let us visualize the result. So I can able to see the result here. I'm going to right click and click this option, navigate to the selection option here and zoom to selections. So we have the selections, you can able to see here. So this is our selection, you can able to see based on our expression, and I'm going to click this option called show the selected records. So here you can able to see the selected records based on our expression where the gap status is equals to 1 or 2. So let me navigate to the gap status here. So 1 or 2, so all got selected, and with the GIS acres that is greater than or equals to 500. So we're going to navigate to the GIS acres, all the areas, the features which is greater than 500 you can able to see, and IUNC category which is not equals to unassigned. So we're going to navigate to the IUNC category here. So you can able to see. So you can able to see the IUNC category which is not equals to unassigned. So based on this expression, so it's going to give us, it's going to filter the conservation land with high protection status of gap status of 1 or 2, and with a large size of area greater than 500 acres and with a valid IUNC classifications. So in this video I have shown you how to write an advanced SQL queries using ArcGIS Pro for spatial analysis. And thanks for watching, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel and give us a like.